I'm Drew from Hellbenders. You're probably wondering two things. Actually, you probably aren't. You probably don't give a damn. Number one, why didn't I say Hellbenders Racing? And number two, why am I sitting on this massive, beautiful sidecar in the middle of my garage? They're kind of related. I'm sitting on this because I built this last year, and I kind of wanted to prove to anybody on the internet, because you know we all have to justify ourselves to the internet, that I do actually finish projects. After I wrecked my R100 RT, I decided to build this. So to the Hellbenders Racing thing, this took a year. I kind of let the racing sidecar go during that year, and then of course life does what it does. It gets in the damn way of your plans. It's Paul Whitaker's, possibly his last rig, and it's got that low mile engine and all these great parts, and it was just such a special thing. It didn't seem right to keep it in my garage, and I did find somebody that wanted to buy it, and they're getting a heck of a deal and a heck of a rig, and I hope they really appreciate it and use it the way it was intended to be used. Today's video is really about me kind of wrapping up some odds and ends with it to send it off, you know, in the best condition I can to get that guy the best head start he can have. No more racing for me. But I do have this beautiful rig, and I can't wait to take it out and ride it all summer. I got to ride it a little bit at the end of fall last year, but I didn't get to use it down dirt roads and all the good stuff this thing's built for. So I am so excited for good weather. Getting the bike packed up, put the deck on, put the matting on, put the covers on just temporarily for the shipping process. Taped up the holes again for the shipping process. Boxes of parts. Some of these are from the original bike before we tore that all apart. Got some throttles and the new carbs and stuff in here. More parts. The entire stuff for the exhaust in this box. These are mostly gaskets. I wanted to finish up a few odds and ends just because I thought it would be easier for me to do it than for him to try to figure out what I was thinking. So today I'm going to try to just thread this so that I can put some stops in it. If you remember from the one video, Craig and I figured out how to get this all to work. This has some burrs, but I don't feel like digging out the air compressor, so I'm going old school. Alright, here we go. I've seen this done, but I've never done it. So you're supposed to go a little bit, then come back, clear the threads, and go back down, back and forth like that. Down a little bit, up a bit. I think I'm going to run that thread some more. I don't know. I'm here. Why not? All right. Unless the new owner has crazy long legs, that should do it. And we're getting to the bend anyway, so I couldn't thread that around the bend. So yeah, that'll never work. All right, you're just gonna have to excuse my melon if you can't see. All right. Ta-da! No. Okay. Yeah, guess you can't adjust it back that far, because if you do, you don't have enough throw. Or you'll have to cut it off. So yeah, new guy, if you want that pedal back more, you're probably gonna have to cut the end of this so that it doesn't strike. But again, I didn't want to make adjustments for you, so you'll have to decide how you want that. The shifting rear set was a good bit more complicated because it's got to stand out from the bike a little more. So what I did, and again, this is a Tim Joyce solution, and thank him for that. So this is from a newer BMW. It's replacing the shift lever. You'll see that later. Then I'm going to put this standoff on it. We'll use a cup and ball system to make the connection. That'll run down the length of the bike to another cup and ball setup that'll run through this pedal. He'll have to adjust that for himself because if you put this one way, it's race shift. In other words, it's up one, down the rest. Or if you put it the other way, it's the normal shift, down one, up the rest. And in racing, you can see that that would just be easier to be kicking it down to go up gear. So he'll have to decide, and then he can cut the end of that to the length he wants to make the rest of this work. That is just the tiniest bit too small. Not quite. Son of a gun. I didn't want to go up to the next size drill bit because it was a lot bigger, and I didn't want it to be loose in the shifting. I didn't want any play in there. So I decided to try to tap it. So now the standoff goes on the shift lever. You got that or that, so I'm putting it in the down position. Then this ball will run here, and that'll come back to, that'll run back to the rear set. And again, he'll have to cut that to accommodate, however he wants to shift this. Yeah, so the problem is it's got to clearance this down too, but it's almost like it should be here, but that's going to get in the way of a foot. Well, guess what? I guess there's some things to solve yet. Probably the easiest would be to put a bigger standoff here. I caught norovirus, not a great idea, and it definitely meant I wasn't able to get anything more done to the race rig before we shipped it off. But it is shipped off. We packed her all up, we pallet wrapped the parts so that the bodywork wouldn't go flying all over the place, and we took it over and stuck it in a Relo cube. Now that rig's 7 feet long, and the inside of a Relo cube is about 6'6". So yeah, I mean, it's not like you can just pick it up, turn it sideways, and slide it in. That was a bit of an engineering feat, and thankfully my friend Doug was there, or it just would have never happened. But it's on the way to its new owner. It's traveling across the country. I have to confess, I have some mixed feelings about all of that. Chloe and I were talking the other day, and we decided to come up with a list of the things we would grab once we knew each other was safe if the house was on fire. And we came up with a whopping 3 things. And, I'm just not attached to stuff. I'm not that kind of person. I don't have a real big emotional connection to things. But I've got some real mixed feelings about getting rid of this race rig. First of all, I mean, it's a really special thing, and if you haven't seen the other videos, you'd have to look at them to see why, but it's one of a kind. It'll never happen again. The other side of it too is an awful lot of people helped me out, but they helped me out because I put myself out there and called them and made connections with all these people, and to have to give all that up and never even get to race once kind of makes me feel like a poser. I know that's not the right way to think about it. Life happens, and there it is, and that's what happened to us. Plans changed, and we needed to change with them, and racing just wasn't going to fit in, so instead of keeping it in my garage and just looking at it, I wanted to sell it and at least let it get out there and have somebody race it. You know, it's not about how you get knocked down, it's about how you get back up. Racing, yeah, I'm gonna have to let that go. But there's many more things I can say yes to because I said no to that. Thank you, and see you soon.